Hello everybody and welcome. Root Beer here, and I'm going to be starting another University of Waterloo math contest. This time it's going to be the Euclid contest from the year 2011. Now the Euclid is a scholarship paper, and what we mean when we say that is the University of Waterloo plus a couple other universities offer scholarships in part based on good performance on the Euclid. Of course, you have to be accepted to the university, and you have to have good grades otherwise, but a good Euclid mark, if you're applying for math, can sometimes boost up an offer and maybe get you a little bit of scholarship money. That's typically why it's called that. It's a sort of a written response contest, so you got to write out your solutions. We'll talk a bit about that in just a moment. There's going to be 10 questions. Here's what the paper looks like. If you'd like to get a copy for yourself, you can click the very first link down in the description. But it is the Euclid, as I say, from 2011. And we've got some lovely sponsors here. Now, things to know about the Euclid: 2.5 hours. So if you want to practice this, give yourself 2.5 uninterrupted hours to try it out. Calculators absolutely allowed. I've got mine. Have you got yours? And then what I'm talking about in terms of written solutions. So there's two symbols you'll find with the questions on this contest. This light bulb indicates that we just want the final answer. If you want to show some work, that's okay. That way, if you get the answer wrong, you might get some part marks. But for the light bulb questions, you just need the final answer, and if it's right, you'll get all the marks. And then we've got this hand with a pen to paper. You need to write full solutions for questions that have this symbol next to it. So you need to justify everything, say, by the Pythagorean theorem, or since we know that this is an angle bisector, we can conclude, blah, blah, blah. We know that these triangles are similar with the ratio, that sort of stuff. You actually need to write out your thoughts and explain your reasoning in how you get your final answer. And sometimes there isn't even just a final answer. For some of the harder questions like 8, 9, and 10, we're looking for full proofs, not just did you do a bunch of calculations and you got the answer of 10. Okay. Now, the questions, as I've sort of indicated there just a moment ago, the questions do get harder as you go on. We've got question 1, 2, they're fairly basic. Whereas 8, 9, and 10, you can see the light bulb symbol sort of stops around question 7. 8, 9, and 10 are all full solution. They're usually very involved questions. If it's your first time writing, depending on your math background, you'll probably get 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Okay. If you're trying to push yourself a little bit, try and get 5 and 6. 7, if you're not the best at math, but you've been trying it for a number of years, you can usually get 7. 8, 9, and 10 are where the contest gets a little more serious. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this paper one question at a time. So in this video, we'll be doing question number 1, all of its parts, and then in the next video, question number 2, and so on. So if you tried the contest out, again, by clicking the very first link in the description, you can get a copy of it for yourself. If you tried it out and you know question 1, you know question 2, but gee, you really just couldn't get question 5, feel free to skip ahead. Yeah, not hurting my feelings. Anyway, with that said, let's get into it with question number 1. We see we've got 3 parts. That's fairly standard for question number 1 on the Euclid. 2 light bulbs and 1 where we're going to be a little careful with what we're writing. So question number 1A is supposed to be sort of a gimme. Everyone who sits down, even if they're just the worst at math, as long as they're like a grade 11, 12 student, they should be able to get this. It's just a basic algebra question. If x plus 1 plus x plus 2 plus x plus 3 is 8, 9, and 10, what is the value of x? So there's 2 ways we could go about doing this question. How do you go from x plus 1 up to x plus 2? Well, this one is 1 more, and this one's 1 more than that. How do you go from 8 to 9? Well, 9 is 1 more than 8, and 10 is 1 more than 9. So they're sort of trying to say that x plus 3 is 10, and x plus 2 is 9, and x plus 1 is 8. And if all that's true, you might be able to just see x is going to be 7. But, okay, maybe your brain doesn't make those connections. How do we do this otherwise? Treat it like a standard algebra question. So we'll simplify the left. And then, oops, I have this set on continuous mode. Silly me. There we go. So we would simplify the left and simplify the right. So 8, 9, and 10 add up to 27. If you need to grab your calculator this early, that's okay. We do whatever we need to get the right answers. So 8, 9, and 10 adds up to 27. Now over here I've got 3 x's. And then 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. So subtract 6 from both sides, you'll get 3x is 21, and if I divide 3 on both sides, we get x is 7. Okay? And it's a light bulb question, so you just need to write 7 in the space in the booklet provided if you were actually writing the contest. We're not, so we'll just put 7 off to the side there. Okay, B part, another light bulb. If the square root of 25 plus the square root of x is 6, what is the value of x? So this, too, is just sort of a little algebra question. 25 plus root x is 6. Now, we want to get down to an x equals statement, but unfortunately there's a square root in the way. Well, how do you get rid of square roots? You square. So we'll square both sides. That'll get rid of this square root here. We have to do it to both sides, otherwise we're not following the rules of algebra. 6 squared is 36. Okay, well, if we bring the 25 over to the other side, so subtract 25 from both sides, 36 minus 25 is 11. Now, we still just want x equals, so if we square both sides, the square root sign will go away. And 11 squared is 121. So there we go. X is 7 for A, x is 121 for B. Now let's get a new sheet of paper for C part, the first written question on the contest. The point A2 is the point of intersection of the lines with equations y equals 2x minus 4 and y equals x plus k. Determine the value of k. Okay, so I don't know a whole lot about this point of intersection, but I do know its y-coordinate is 2. And I also know this point must be on both lines. Now, I don't know everything there is to know about one of the lines, the one that's y equals x plus k, but I do know, so we would write out A2 is on y equals 2x minus 4. Was it minus 4 or was it plus 4? Minus 4. Okay, good. Want to make sure it's right. So what does that mean? That means the 2 can go in for x and the 2 can go into the y spot and the a can go into the x spot, and the equation will be correct. So 2 is 2a minus 4. Well, you can rearrange, bring the 4 over the other side, get 6. So 2a is 6, a is 3. So I might say, so the point is 3, 2. That's what I've worked out up to this point, and I'm just making it clear to whoever's marking the paper. Okay? And there are humans who mark these papers. They read through your solutions. Okay, so I know this point is also on y equals x plus k. So 2, the y value, is the x value, 3 plus k. And now if I subtract 3 from both sides, we can work out k is minus 1. Now, I would probably get a mark for k is minus 1, but I would also get a mark for, solving for a by plugging in and then using my new point here to plug in and solve for k. So it's probably a 3, maybe a 4 mark question there. But we did show our work, so we should be able to get everything there. Okay, so that's question number 1. We're 1/10 of the way finished our 2011 Euclid. Up next will be question 2, but as I already said, feel free to bounce around and watch whatever you'd like. Okay? And I'll see you for more math next time. Until then, take care and have a wonderful day.